I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Welcome back to M Black America Radio with your host, Rasta B. It is February 23rd, 2018. Actually, the last Friday of the month. Black History Month, that is. Today's show title is M Black America Radio, Important Reminder to Black People Locally and Globally. Guest calling number 646-716-4654. Currently, right now, what we're going to speak on, me and Smoke, we're basically going to speak on an announcement that we're going to make, and just some real shit, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? We're going to build on that. Before we do anything, let me go ahead and bring in my co-host, Smoke. Smoke, are you there?
Yes, sir. What's poppin'?
Shit, what's good, huh?
Shit. Same old shit, Friday. I was fucking with them, the seeds for them peppers and shit, so I'm trying to get those in, germination, see if they just pop out.
Okay.
I bought some soil and shit today. I seen what you talking about with like the perlite and all that shit. So like the plants I had before, I just bought soil, but it had that in there. So I was looking like, oh, all right. I was like, all right. I was looking at the old one, the old soil I had. I was like, oh, it had something in there already. I was like, I guess it just came with the mixture or whatever. So I was just fucking with that before I go ahead or whatever.
Hell yeah. See, that's what the whole shit is. It's like when you get that sea moss, perlite, shit like that, like a lot of spongy type shit.
Yeah, what's that nigga? Vermiculite or some shit.
Yeah, it absorbs the water.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? It'll eat up the shit, and or it keeps the dirt broke up where the roots could breathe. And if it promotes strong roots, then your plant's healthy and grow big and all that other good shit.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and before anything, let's build on this dead clock. Let's do a little announcement. The United States debt clock, currently, the savings per family, $4,592. It is still dropping.
I got a joke. Not a joke, but some funny shit. When I saved the link for this shit, somehow the year was like 2020 or some shit like that, 2030 or some shit. So like when you were saying the amount and shit, I'm looking at that same square like, yo, that don't say that, cause I gotta be in the wrong place. But I'm like, yo, I'm on the link, U.S. debt clock, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because like the last time we talked about it, it said like 0 or something real low and shit. I'm like, yo, wait. Yo, I gotta be on the wrong shit. So for some reason, I said, let me go back. So I clicked the link from the like I hit back on it or did something, and it said 2020. Like you gotta switch the year and shit. Whatever year it was, it might have been like 2030 or some shit like that. But, so I'm looking at it like,
oh yeah,
no, I know what you're saying. It's like, bro, I got the wrong amount and shit.
No, I got it. I got it because it says I got it at 2022, and it says the saving per family is $361.
Yeah, it was like real low and shit. I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm looking at them. I gotta be on the wrong shit, but it just shows you that it's trending the wrong way. It's trending the wrong way.
Yeah, it's trending the wrong way, and that's why I be saying, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, you gotta pay attention. Look, 1980, the saving per family was basically $3,000. 1990, the savings per family is $4,863. 2000, when everybody
30 years, ain't much of a difference.
ballers and shit, yep. They say the savings in 2000 was $6,395 per family. Now the recession didn't hit yet. No, the recession hit in 2004. Now we about to hit. Now the savings per family is $8,215. 2008, yeah, about 4. Yeah, we were just getting into it. 2008, we damn sure was in it, climbing out.
Yeah,
the savings per family for 2008, $3,000. That's 2008. 1980, the savings per family, $3,000. $3,063. In 2008, $3,077. Look how close that shit is. You know what I'm saying? Look how close that shit is. $3,063 in 1980, and like 14 cents more by the time we get to 2008, $3,077. Then after 2008,
the one thing that stands out though is that, like, you know, in one of our earlier shows we was talking about, you know, talking to, forget which caller it was, but he was talking about how basically $10,000 was like a target point. So when you consider a whole family, like a target point to be able to make moves and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, in the world or whatever. So, you know, the debt clock is considering a whole standard family. So, you know, if you say that's mother, father, you know, 2 kids, that's 4 people at least. So for 4 people, none of those totals was $10,000. So it's like you at a deficit. It's like it's not even close to having $10,000 per person. So in essence, when you look at it, it's like unless you break the cycle of the same shit, no investments, just working, you know, not trying to build anything or whatever, you always gonna be at a deficit according to this clock.
Yeah, you're always going to be at a deficit, but my shit is, and I'm always a numbers person, but pay attention to the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got from 1980, you were still climbing up until 2008 during that recession. That was 3,000. 2012, we jumped back up to 8,000 per saving per family. Then we had 2018, and it's now dropped back down to 4,591. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, if you start to see a downward trend with the savings per family, and even the predicted budget for 2022 is that the savings per family is going to be $361. Yeah, that means the recession is on its way. It's coming close. The good thing about it is the smart people will be collecting their bread up and playing the sideline. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna lose out on a lot of hypothetical money, meaning a lot of I could have if I would have money. You know what I'm saying? But just be patient, stand on the sideline. Yo, this shit is about to collapse. Yeah, and buy all them cheapies up, and then you're gonna be standing tall and shit. But that's the U.S. debt clock, man, and we always got to talk about that because you got to pay attention to the move. This is a capitalistic society, so you got to pay attention to the money. You got to pay attention to the debt. You got to pay attention to the greed. When you're watching the money people out here and they start making certain moves, you know what I'm saying? You got to pay attention to everything because it's a hustle. It's a hustle. That's the game that they're playing on us. It's a hustle game. So it's like you can't sit there and pretend that the hustle ain't real. The hustle is real. The only way to not get hustled is to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? It's a capitalistic society. It's about money. You can't ignore the money. You can't sit there and say, I don't want to play. I don't want to deal with the money. The money's wicked. The money's evil. The money's part of it is the system. It's not even part. It is the system. That's what the money is. It's a capitalistic society that we live in. What we got to start to do is get into our economy building mind frame. And people are smooth. And this is what I want all black people to do. Check out. Go on your YouTube and pull up Mobay, Mobay, or Jamaicans fleeing Jamaica. I don't know, bleach gangsters and all kind of shit like that. Yo, these niggas in Jamaica's wildin', yo. Wildin'. These niggas is on PCP now. These niggas are on PCP. These niggas out here committing so much fucking crime. It was a state of emergency in Jamaica. So now the police is running around now. They gunning down the gunmen. The people, they celebrating that because they being terrorized by them. So when you look, what I see people so depressed. People so impoverished. People so depressed. People with no end game in sight. So that now what they're pretty much doing, they're insane. And I say to myself, how do you stop that? There's the only way to stop it, economy. Because we're supposed to use these people now in Jamaica, that workforce, to for like lack of a better word, for cheap labor. You see what I'm saying? As an American entrepreneurial business type shit. You dig what I'm saying? Like we'll open up a factory in Jamaica, giving out jobs, you know what I'm saying, to the black people, particularly. And then have them doing the assembly or the sewing of the elastic on the panties or the underwears, or, you know what I'm saying, making the shit that you send out to China, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The shit that you send out to China. Yeah, you get these factories, you get these buildings, things of the nature.
Yeah, because I was looking at, I got this article pulled up in Miami Herald, and they were saying that last year, Jamaica had 1,616 killings and 1,469 shootings. And they said just in St. James Parish, it was just 330 people just killed just there in that area, just St. James Parish. So it's like when you speak of depression for an island, it's an island. Shit ain't that big. You know what I mean? To have 1,600 killings on an island in 1 year, you know it's mad. And then it's crazy. The crazy thing is that Jamaica's a tourist destination. So the people is like on the outside of that, while you got people coming in, going to the resorts and the tourist destinations and shit, having fun, like fulfilling their fantasies and dreams and coming out there and, having fun. And you got the people that's on the other side of that shit that's going through war, you know what I'm saying? So imagine just like living in that, you know what I'm saying? It's like money is over there, but you got no part of that. And you just hear where it's, the state, the country is just, you know what I mean, and like a state of emergency, basically, you know what I'm saying? So when you say depression, that's real shit.
And that's what it is, 'cause that's what goes on in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what they do is when you don't have the economy, you got a lot of these places ain't nothing but big ghettos that you live in. So now you have people who can't get work, but they gotta eat. But the ones that control the food don't look like you. And you gotta get your clothes. But you don't make clothes. You see what I'm saying? You don't work any place. And the people that you gotta buy the clothes from don't look like you. And the people that you got to pay the electric bill to don't look like you. And the rules and the laws that you got to abide by isn't governed by people that give a fuck about you. You see what I'm saying? So then when you in that condition now, you wake up in the morning with nothing to do, you go to sleep with nothing to do. People hungry, people got shit that they need, but they can't. You looking around for work, you trying to have an honest pay and shit, and there's nothing out there for you. So now you have these people now sit around now, and they have to, and this is the most wickedest part about the whole thing in scenario, Smoke. It's all spread through the tell lies vision. Tell lies through your vision. So they pump this shit through the TV. You dig what I'm saying? And they doing to the youth in Jamaica now the same shit they did to their forefathers in the 70s and shit. They pumped them with the TV. And back then, everybody wanted to be John Wayne and all the fucking cowboys. Now these niggas growing up and they want to be the fucking raccoon-ass gangsters. You know what I'm saying? These niggas on TV cooning and shit. Now these niggas bleached out in their face. These niggas look like fucking, like, yo, like this shit look crazy. Like I can't even explain what they look like fucking aliens. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit is fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like just to look at black men and black women standing there and shit like that, and it look like somebody just got an eraser and just erased the fucking skin off their face. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what the fuck is wrong? That's a mental illness. And if you could do that to your skin, you damn right you could kill somebody just crazy, just murdering people. You know what I'm saying? Because you already displaying a state of mental illness.
Wow.
You're displaying that. And I feel like a lot of times what happening is they starve the people out. There's certain places that's always going to get starved out, and Jamaica's one. The only how for Jamaica not to get starved out no more, Jamaica has to just bow down to all that gay shit. And they creeping. They creeping because they accepting that shit. But they're going to have to bow down to all that shit. Yeah. Because they accepting it. But they don't want acceptance. They don't want you to say, okay, we'll let the gay people. They don't want that.
That shit is popular, but it's like culturally, it's not. Like, it's still against the grain to do shit like that. But it's like, it's not. They did.
That shit ain't against nothing no more. Just like in our community, it ain't, because that's why they target the youth. Because the youth turn into adults.
Yeah,
and then these adults now have a different mind.
Showing the young boys and shit running around, you know what I mean, all on the sweet shit, you know what I'm saying? I forget what the name of that joint was.
So you gotta understand, you could get anybody to do anything if you starve them out. You see what I'm saying? Because now you got them in a desperate situation. That's how black people live here globally, locally. That's how we are. We're in a community where nobody that looks like us owns the businesses that we need to survive. So the few that have a job, they're taking care of a whole family. The ones who don't have a job, they have to try to figure out how to eat. How to eat could be nonviolent, and how to eat could be violent. Now, because of the stress and tension I have on me, I'm willing to kill my brother because he didn't pay me back that fucking $5 I gave him last week. You see what I'm saying? Where, like, with a full. Now think about now with a full belly. You know what I'm saying? A full belly, bills paid. You're not feeling like you're struggling to breathe. You're not feeling like you're trying to swim above water. You living good. You planning for vacations and trips with your family, and somebody owe you $5. Somebody owe you $20. Somebody owe you $50. You not tripping off of that shit. You like, nigga, I'm good. I'm not about to run down on no fucking nigga for $50. My life is good. I'm working. I'm getting a nice check. My bills paid. Money saved up. You know what I'm saying? I got investments. I got business. Everything good. A nigga owe me $50? It's been a week. I'm not tripping off of that. When I see him, I see him. I got $50 in this. But when you hungry, it's a different story. You see what I'm saying? It's a different mind frame. It's a different understanding of importance. So what happened is you end up selling yourself short. And I feel like what they do is they starve these black people. Haiti, another place will never. You see what I'm saying? Will never. And people looking at that understanding why. These West Indian countries are too fucking close to America to do good. Don't keep listening to these motherfuckers who keep telling y'all about, racism and, it's because Haiti defeated France and all. Don't believe none of that dumb shit. Y'all too close to America. Same reason why Cuba threat. Y'all niggas too close to America. So that's why the game being played the way it do. How that shit get lifted? It get lifted when black Americans realize that the system of white supremacy that everybody keep talking about is really called the white economy. That's what the system of white supremacy is. The system that y'all think y'all keep going to tear down and break down while y'all keep going to work and keep sending your kids to school and college to get jobs in this white man system. Yeah, the system is called the economy. You can't tear down a system that you work for. It doesn't make no sense. Because you're not working against the company that y'all work for. So you're not working against the system. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all doing a great job at the fucking job that y'all work for while screaming you want to tear down a system. You can't. The system is the economy. You're trying to fight against an ideology. That's a different thing. You can't defeat somebody's ideology. You might can make them change their mind, okay, if you want to do that, but who the hell want to sit around trying to convince somebody else about you? Who gives a fuck? Live your life. Why are you worrying about what somebody else thinks about you? Is that important to you? No.
Yeah,
so then you say to yourself, you said what?
I said that's emotional shit.
That's all that emotional bullshit. That's why they got to gun down the black man. Scare us into emotion. You know what I'm saying? We walked away from logic. We get emotional. We on the goddamn social media crying. We on the news crying. We on TV crying. we taking a knee crying. I'm like, I ain't never seen black men cry so fucking much in my life. What the fuck are you crying about? Trump went and crying. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Come on. What you doing now? So, see, there's a whole revamping that has to be done. Because, see, once they made the black man get emotional and deal within emotion, that's how the whole breakdown was able to go down. Because you got to understand, the black man is the protector. But the black woman, that's the prize. That's the jewel. She's the one that brings forth the babies. That's what the black man is protecting. That's the structure. She is the most important shit. She's the suitcase with the fucking handcuff locked to your arm. And you're the fucking transporter. And you got to get it to the destination, you know what I'm saying, by any means necessary, risking your life. You see what I'm saying? But she's that important file in that briefcase. Black man, you're not supposed to be into that emotional shit, man. All this emotional shit, we got to cut that shit out.
This whole shit plays off of that. The whole system of how we operate right now plays off of that. So when you look at like politicians when they talking to us, it's really riling us up on civil rights issues and shit like that. When we jump into it, we get riled up, we're going out to vote, but then any issues that we need, they not being met. So it's like the way we attach ourselves to emotions is like that's our enemy in life. Because now we could pretty much just throw certain things out there, and that's what we concentrating on. You know what I'm saying? So, like for example, even with something like Black Panther, you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen the movie yet. You know what I'm saying? There's great reviews and shit like that, but it's just like the movie come out, and that's all we concentrating on. So that we forget about the issues. This is Black Panther, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But we not concentrating. So it could be something that we might be looking at as good, but it's just taken away from it. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're not paying attention to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just like to me, you see that in the tactics of how they get us going. You bring out an issue, it could be a shooting or things like that, and then they get us going. But yet, at the end of the day, we're not getting anything to improve the community or nothing. But we feel good. We feel like we accomplished something. We felt, you know what I mean, we're fighting something. But it's really just them flaring up our emotions and us going with it and nothing happening for us in the end. And everyone else's agenda being fulfilled. So that's an important point, you know what I mean? It's like we got to sit back and not necessarily attach ourselves to something because it feels good, or disassociate ourselves from something because it don't feel good. You know, that take away the emotion from it, look at what's going on, research. You know, everybody is woke now. We know about researching and looking at books and all of that. So go look at your books, research your information, and then make an opinion. Don't make that shit based on how it's making you feel. Because that shit might not be right. It might just be pulling on your heartstrings a little bit. So just pay attention, you know what I'm saying, and not be so emotional with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, that's that's funny, yeah, because they do play off the emotion shit. That's how the preachers play off you with emotions. That's how the politicians play with you with emotions. That's how the media play with you off the emotion. So they got to have you emotional because we start thinking logical, black man. Again, when we start to reason, black man, again, when you're sitting there with your woman and your woman getting emotional with you, even if you fall for the trap the first time, your logic could kick in. so you don't fall for it for the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time.
Right.
So now she ain't tricking you and she ain't trapping you and she's not getting you caught up into the arguing and the yelling and shit like that. Now you can use your mind and say, you know what? I see where you trying to get. You trying to get me on another level that I'm not trying to get on. So how I'm going to counter that is this way. But see, but men not moving like that. We moving too emotional, so we'll argue back. We'll fight back. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, now police knocking on the door. Now you in jail, and you missing a day from work, and you know what I'm saying? And you sitting over there like, damn, man, fuck. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could turn back time, but I can't. But what really got you there? Your emotions. You see what I'm saying? You might sit there now, and you might be listening to some might be in a position where you could get some deep information that really help the black community. But you might hear some of these white motherfuckers saying some foul left shit. You know what I'm saying? And then you allow that shit to fuck with your emotions, where you react feeling like you must say something instead of being a spook that sat by the door. Gather that information. You see who they is, they racist. We know how they are. Get that information. Let's rebuild back the hood. You see what I'm saying? But we'll get too emotional. We got to be able to not to wear our sleeves, that shit on our sleeves. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to maneuver around them because, yo, we behind enemy lines. We're working in their economy. And then we're complaining how their economy is ran. And we want them to change make their economy more accommodating towards us. When basically what we're asking for is one of two things. One, to be the workforce of the white economy, and or allow us to be able to run the white economy also. We want to be able to run the white economy and make sure that it stays up.
Yeah,
that's the only two conclusions I'm coming to. See, Smoke, the reason why I'm coming to them two conclusions is because when I'm listening to these black so-called people, scholars or whatever, money people talk, nobody talk rebuilding our economy. Everybody likes to speak on trying to destroy some supremacy or some system that these white men have, even though we work within their economy. So that's why I'm like, nah, I think y'all really want to be part of their economy, respected in their workforce, equally paid in their workforce, treated like them, and hopefully one day to even run their economy. Go ahead,
Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, if you think about how hilarious that sounds, it's like saying you own a business, but you're going to let somebody else run that shit. Nobody who, you know what I mean? Somebody else is going to come to the top of it. You like, if you got a business, you're going to put your people in, you're going to put who you know. You're going to put outsiders in there. So that's how it is. It's like, you know, we expecting to come in on an outsider's economy and get the perks and benefits that the people who are of that economy going to get. And it's not that, it doesn't work that way. I mean, you could do that with, you know, if you go into a white economy, if you go try to work for Chinese, it's going to be the same way. If you go try to work for any group of people, the only place you're going to be treated fairly, how black people feel they should be treated, is if we are employing ourselves and we are the ones setting the standards. We have to accept the standards when we go on to work and with other people. This is what we're going to give you. Give it or take it. Give it or leave it. And being that we don't have a backup, which would be our economy, we have to accept it. And you know what I'm saying? That's the dilemma of it. And that's the dilemma of it. So it's like, you know, another thing I was kind of thinking about was like, coons. Like, a lot of what they call, you hear a lot of the coon terminology now. You know what I mean? This person's a coon, that person's a coon. And so, you got to think about it. Like, really we all coons. If you think about it, it's like, when you take certain people, it's like, for example, like Stephen A. or somebody. I watch sports a lot, and they talk about Stephen A. He's like a coon and shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, he works in a white economy. ESPN, white company. He works there. They employ him. He has to work by the standards of what they say. So if certain things he says is out of bounds, or it might be viewed as out of bounds by his company, he got to pull back away from that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's him keeping his job. Why do he have to keep his job? Because he don't have no backup. He don't have nothing he can fall back on. It's like, we're gonna employ him if he just say, I'm gonna be on my nigga shit. He get fired, then where he gonna go work at? You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, when you say, well, that's corny. That's corny. All right, cool. If you have long hair and you work at your job and they say no long hair, you gonna cut your hair to get the job? That's cool, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't like working on the weekends, but your job say weekend. You still going in on the weekend. That's cool too. You ain't doing something.
Look, all my favorite, mandatory overtime.
So we be put in fucked up positions to where we gotta kind of compromise ourselves, and we know we got the overt coons. We know them motherfuckers, but it's like we need to calm down on who we pointing fingers at, because most of the majority is in a situation where we gotta compromise ourselves, even if it's a small bit, to fit into the economy. So don't think like I just feel better than anybody. Until black people establish ourselves.
You know what it is? It's like you got two sets of black people. Cause this is why you call them coon. Both of y'all gotta take it from the white man, where you got a mean mug on your face and you looking over and this nigga got a big ass beard. This nigga smiling. This nigga fucking.
I'm good today.
And you looking over at the nigga like, yeah, you know, fucking coon, you know. That's where the hatred comes from. It's like we both got it good, but it's like,
that's
everybody else.
It was like, you know what I'm saying? It's like we quick to jump on each other. You know what I'm saying? For shit that we see that might be out of line or shit like that, but it's like, we gotta look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's like we talk about, you know what I'm saying, on a serious note, we talk about a lot of problems, you know what I'm saying, of the black community in black America. You know what I mean? That's kind of how we came to the title, you know what I mean, or the name of the show, whatever you call it. You know what I'm saying? So we talk about that. But it's like, damn, I lost my train of thought. I love that train of thought.
The train that come back in 15 minutes. So shit, well, I got a part right here that'll be an interesting little topic right now, you know what I'm saying? This is In Black America Radio with your host, Rasta B, Whole Smoke. Important reminder to black people locally and globally. Guest calling number 646-716-4654. So
before you start, I know what I was going to say. The root of all of the issues that we talk about that are plaguing black America all stem back through our conversations. They've all gone back to establishing an economic base. So until we do that or make strides to do that, we all gonna be out here coning. We all gonna be out here having to fucking accept what other economies, what other people are living. We have to live by that standard because we're not creating the standards for ourselves. All right.
Well, now watch this standards right here, because this is how I'll break it down after I read it. So it goes like this. This is from U.S. Today. The title: Who is an African American? definition evolves as USA does. There was a time when being black in America meant you were most likely descended from one of more enslaved Africans who have survived the transatlantic slave trade. However, as the number of African and Caribbean black immigrants to the U.S. has increased, so has the chances that someone who identifies as black or African American is a first or second generation immigrant. According to the Pew Research Center, the number of African immigrants in the USA has risen from 2,500,000 since 1970, from 80,000 in 1970 to about 2.1 million in 2015. That number increases to 3.8 million black immigrants when those from Caribbean nations are counted according to 2013 data. The influx of foreign-born blacks have energized the debate about what African American means today. Does that category include people like the model Iman and the singer Rihanna, born in Somalia and Barbados, respectively, or can only those whose family trees were violently uprooted and replanted on U.S. soil hundreds of years ago claim the designation? As the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture exhibits are inclusive, representing the wide range of Americans of African descent affected by the historical American experience, said Arena Curtis, the museum curator for Latino history and studies. We understand that African American experience in the United States is diverse. While many black Americans embrace the African American label and culture, not all are quick to jump into the melting pot that might dilute their distinct culture. Eliza Thompson arrived in the United States as a child. Okay, so before I get into that one, let's get into the first part I'm talking about. So yeah, Smoke, as a black American, I guess I would say 100%, right? You're 100% black American, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because my father's from Trinidad, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because my father's from Trinidad, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what I was saying with you. How would you take that article?
I mean, for me, like, my definition of black American is black and you live in America. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us is from different places. You know what I'm saying?
Not black American. No, it's not black America. That's why I always say black American. They talking about African American. Because remember, now you got West Indians, Africans, and things like that coming to America.
Right. I see.
So it's like, yeah, it's not black American. It's African American.
Well, I mean, to me, that's like, it's like something to like kind of make push the two groups away, like the original African Americans and then actually Africans that come here to live in America that become citizens or whatever the case may be. To me, it's like it's like tension ain't the right word, you know what I'm saying? But between the two, it's like black Americans, even though I know we're saying African Americans, the original African Americans, so to speak. We don't, it's like we don't like Africans, or we think Africans don't like us, and also back from the other way, Africans that come here, they don't associate with black Americans. They have a certain ideas of how black Americans are and so forth, stereotypes and shit like that. So to me, it's like to try to make big distinguisher against, like to try to separate the two is like going to bring the two groups further apart. But in actuality, we kind of need to find a way to merge those two groups together, regardless of whether you African born or American born. Because if we saying that we were stole, our ancestors was taken, stolen from Africa, then it really shouldn't be a distinction. You know what I mean? It's just like, these two groups should understand what it is. You know what I mean? So that's how I would look at it. It's like for us to take on that idea of it being two separate groups, even though we know that, all right, we're talking about, immigrating Africans and, stolen Africans that came up here through generations. It's a distinction in that matter. But if we saying that we came from them, then, we shouldn't even be trying to make a distinction.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I be looking at it like this, like, that's what I mean. I always like Black American.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm a Black American. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that really encompass everything and everybody that's Black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I never really got down with the African American part because I felt like that doesn't connect me to all my brothers and sisters around the globe. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I never felt like that.
It makes a distinction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we different. We different. You know what I'm
right.
saying? It's like we different.
No, but that's the whole point. If that's the case, then that means you could get wiped out. That's just a case of getting wiped out, because that means we could keep gunning you down, incarcerating you, and replacing you with foreign Blacks who doesn't have the same hang-ups as you and the same history as you in this country. You see what I'm saying? Because all Black people have the same story. If you had oppression in America and you made it big in Europe, you don't know about the Black European struggle. You know what I'm saying? You're like, shit, I'm making it over here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're not gonna know that struggle. So it's like these people come over here, they don't know the struggle. So maybe it's an easier bond and mesh with white people. I wonder if that's the understanding. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But I just feel like the real issue, again, but it all goes back into economy, because that's Black Americans' role, or Black America's role. You know what I'm saying? That's Black America's role to have that economy. So when these Africans, West Indians, you know what I'm saying, Black Latinos, Afro-Latinos come to America, they don't have to compete in a white economy. Right. They can be in a Black economy. And then we don't have to worry about them thinking, well, I don't want to be labeled as a Black American, because being a Black American is paying off. We got a strong economy over here.
You know, yeah, you see, like we're not thinking business-minded, so we're not thinking business-minded. Just going back to the Jamaican story, you know what I'm saying, and an example of going over there and, building factories in Jamaica. In this case, you got people coming to you here in America, so it'd be simple as, we hire African Americans. You go through. We got you. You got a constant supply.
But look. Let me finish reading the story though. So this is what happens when you don't got an economy. Eliza Thompson arrived in the U.S. as a child and identifies as Ghanaian. She preferred to think of the country as a salad bowl rather than a melting pot. The lettuce is still the lettuce, Thomas said. Mixing together the lettuce, carrots, and tomato all work in a melting pot. You lose your identity. There can also be reluctance to identify as African American because of negative stereotypes of U.S.-born blacks, says Wayne Fairweather, a Jamaican-American who migrated as a teen. In a country run by people of color, Fairweather say there was no negative depiction of black citizens manufactured by those in power. So when he was exposed to the stereotypes of U.S.-born blacks, he tended to believe them. When you grow up in another country, you think the streets of America are literally paved in gold, Fairweather said. You think that all you have to do is work hard and that African Americans haven't succeeded because they are lazy. However, many foreign-born blacks come to recognize the effects of institutionalized racism, he said. People joke about Jamaicans having multiple jobs, but after working and not getting ahead, you start to realize what racism is and how it affects you, he said. Joan Hippolyte, a curator at the Smithsonian Museum, who was born in Haiti, says, black immigrants come here and they're introduced to American race relations. You begin to see a shift in perspective in their own understanding of how race works in America. Hippolyte say that despite minor misunderstanding, there has always been a kinship between black immigrants and descendants of the enslaved that have helped shape America. Whether that's Stokely Carmichael, born in Trinidad, who coined the term Black Power during the 1960s civil rights movement. We read that inside Martin Luther King's book. What's the name of that book? Where do we go from here?
Yeah, chaos.
Where do we go from here? Chaos or community? Or Malcolm X, whose mother migrated from Grenada. Hippolyte say they're all defined as African American. That tradition of, well, really they're all defined as black or Negro or whatever the term was at that time, but now they're defined as African American. The tradition of collaboration continued as the Congressional Black Caucus lobbies to secure citizenship for Haiti evacuees, and the NAACP opposes change to the Deferred Action of Childhood Arrival Program. The bond of cooperation are still there, says Kevin J. A. Thomas, Associate Professor of Sociology, Demograph, and African Studies at Penn State. If anything is going to happen, it will make bonds stronger. We are here together, live together as brothers, or perish as fools. Now, this is the part of the story that I wanted to really highlight a little. The fact that the Congressional Black Caucus lobbied to secure citizenship for the Haiti evacuees. That's comical to me, because if you're going to lobby to secure Haitians to stay into the United States, then it's like, why aren't you lobbying for the United States to stop exploiting Haiti, or for there to be more protections on Haiti, or for them to have the red tape removed from Haiti? You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is the issue I have with the Congressional Black Caucus. It's like, we want to be stuck into this fucking victim second-class mode. And what's happening is, you're getting the West Indians coming over, and even though, and like the story's saying, they're understanding the racism aspects that's going on here and how that should beat you down, but they're still coming inside here like, yo, but there's still a hustle. But I tell West Indians all the time, holla at me when you're a child. When you make your child pop. Or really holla at me when your grandchild pop. You see what I'm saying? Because when you're born into the system, you're only going to know what the system allows you to know. You see what I'm saying? And if you as a parent isn't strong enough to instill that shit into your child will get washed into the system and believe the same bullshit that the system wants them to believe. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, so it's hard. Now, black people, we've been dealing with this for 500 fucking years. So you can't come over and say, I've been living in America for 10 years and talk shit. You know what I'm saying? That's bogus. So it's like, where we're supposed to be at, and the proof is in the pudding, and that shows you how beat down and weak we are right now in reality as a people, not as individuals, but as a people. And we have to deal with the strength. We need an economy. The purpose of the economy, you hire your brothers, you hire your sisters, you're creating something and you're selling it, you're trading it, you're importing, you're exporting. It's a community now. It's a strength. When this economy is running and you're trading back and forth with the white economy, with the Mexican economy, with the Chinese economy, with the West Indian economy. Well, really, let me take that back. You don't even got to fuck with none of them other economies. The only people you got to fuck with is the West Indian economy. You trading back and forth, black America with the black West Indians, Afro-Latinos. You see what I'm saying? Blacks in Europe. Wherever we are, blacks in Africa, wherever we are, we're supposed to be trading amongst each other, dealing in commerce amongst each other. We're supposed to be writing, lobbying and treaties and things of this nature and fighting for the black side of the world. That's how it's supposed to be ran. But what's going on is we're working within this white economy and complaining about their system instead of recreating our own. So as long as we keep being second and playing victim and being reactionary, we're going to be dealing with these same things over and over again. And me personally, I can't keep talking about the same thing over and over again. So that's why today's show is going to be the last show until about the next election. Either the midterms or it's going to be straight up at 2020. You know what I mean? But we coming back and we're going to have something on the table. Because, see, we working on something, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we got to, if we don't build the economy, we're going to get ran the fuck over. Always. That's what the competition is. You know what it is, Smoke? A good example? It's like this. It's like you racing, right? Everybody's in the race, right? Now, everybody got all these fast cars, right? If you driving your regular car that you drive to go to work, right? And you're in a race. And these dudes got like McLarens and all kind of shit, you know what I'm saying? And you in a race. I mean, and you in your car, and it's a race. You know what I'm saying? They're like, on your mark, it's that go. And they all like, and they flying past you and shit like that, and you just driving your car. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, man, you gotta get to a car, yo, that's gonna rate, and you like, nah, but you tune up their cars, you clean their cars, you change the oil, you make sure their cars is tuned up good and all that shit, and you get paid, and you make payments on your car, and then when it's time to race, you put your money up, and you just, you drop it together, and these motherfuckers is flying. It's like, when you complain, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, you You can't race with that type of car. And that's how we are. We're in a capitalistic society, so that's the same equivalent of saying, a race. We don't have an economy, and we need an economy to thrive in a capitalistic society. So we're a workforce. So, like, we all basically work check for check. We spend our money and depend on other people of other races and nations so we can eat, clothe, and be sheltered. Then we complain and get angry whenever we get treated unfairly. And we keep doing this shit over and over again.
It's a cycle.
And it's not the 85's fault. Because I don't like how people like to always want to blame the 85. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everybody.
When they'll be like, yo, and if y'all would, no, it's not the 85 fault. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know. You got the ones, the ones that know that 10%, and they playing games and running game on the 85. You know what I'm saying? They out there running game and collecting that bread. You know what I'm saying? And they feeding them bullshit and telling them stupid shit. And they can project and they can fly and they can use crystals to do this and they can, you know what I'm saying? Like all this bullshit, and it's like, man. Yo, what that got to do with, like, what that got to do with, that's crazy, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's one thing that we got to do. It's not about how much money you can get. That don't mean nothing. That money shit ain't real. It's about how you can build an economy, how you can strengthen your economy, how much property you can acquire, how much businesses you can acquire, you can own, your conglomerate, the market that you cornering, the people that you're employing. When you're driving on the highway, you see the Koch food. When you ever see that truck, Koch Foods, Koch Foods, and if you know who the Koch brothers are, and how much money they spend on politics so they can do their thing. And they got their trucks on the highway. Koch Foods. That's what it's about. It's not about having a whole bunch of money and shit like that and having cigars and stunting on Instagram talking about black excellence. Because a bunch of niggas got money and selling alcohol. You know what I'm saying? That's not black excellence. You know what I'm saying?
That's called
Talk to me about black excellence. Yeah, that's just something. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me about black excellence. The motherfuckers sitting over there, standing around and shit like, yo, all these black men are fucking industry, heads of their industry within black America. Not within the whole of America, no, within black America. This dude right here, he got the fucking oil or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Getting that oil coming in from Nigeria or some shit. Coming to black America. He runs the oil and shit.
Everything.
This other black motherfucker here, he got the goddamn diamonds and shit. We don't go to no Jews for diamonds. This black man here, he got the diamonds. Or this black woman here, she got the diamonds. You know what I'm saying? This dude here, he owns.
I'm trying to see the fucking Chinese cats and they got their Jewish cats with the come show me. I got the AP bust down. And they got specials 30,000. I'm looking like God. And we over there, I need that or ZBS or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of that. Come on, man. Let's take over something, you know what I mean? Because there's plenty of money we spend.
We got to take it over.
That we got to be
like I said,
on the back end, on the front
but the
end.
good thing about it, Smokey, whatever we want, whatever's out here, all we got to do is make a black version of it. So really, you don't even have to think about, well, what should I create? Make a black version. Yeah, just make it, whatever's already there, make a black version of it. That's it. That's what the Chinese did. The Chinese are copy your shit. They never thought about what the fuck, a great idea to do no shit. No, they copied your shit and sold it to you for cheap.
Yeah, that's the Chinese shit. That's the Chinese game plan. Oh, you make it for $1? You make that shit for 20 cents. You make that shit for 20 cents. I see that shit with my job. Like the way that they operate affects the market. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for example, like with certain items, the government here taxes it because the Chinese make the product so low that if they're allowed to just freely export that shit here, then it will run the businesses out. So shit like nuts and bolts for like machines and shit like that, they make them shits at like a quarter of the price of what we make them for. Right. And so like even with like the extra taxes, so they call that shit anti-dumping. So it's like even with the extra anti-dumping taxes on it, a lot of them should still be cheaper than the fucking market here. You know what I'm saying? So that's the Chinese way. Like they that's what y'all do? Okay, we're gonna make it cheaper, and we're gonna sell it to y'all. So you're right. That's 100.
That's their shit, and it's like, and we so silly and shit, we don't even realize and recognize that this is war. Business is war. I always say that. Business is war. So when you're sitting over here now and y'all talking about business, y'all need to be thinking about a takeover. You see what I'm saying? That's what y'all need to be thinking about. I'm not pro consumer-based business. I'm not pro that. I'm pro industry. You dig what I'm saying? But even if you have a consumer-based business, you're not supposed to be in no goddamn business having a restaurant and you had the same restaurant for fucking 20 years. No. Where your second restaurant at? Where your third location at?
Yeah.
Where your food truck at? You know what I'm saying? Why your shit not inside the damn supermarkets yet? Locally. Like, that don't make sense. Like, you always got to expand. You always got to move. You got to always build your shit. In everything that you do, you got to build that shit up. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you can't sit there as black people and keep thinking mediocre. And keep thinking low level.
Right,
and keep thinking meek and timid. You know what I'm saying? Now, we got to think kick in the door type shit. Get down and lay down type shit. You know what I'm saying? White America got a lot of fucking money out there in them streets. The reason why black people don't know about this shit because we don't know what money is because we don't got no economy. So we don't even know what generating money is. We only see that shit when it comes to drugs. You see what I'm saying? We only see that when it comes to drugs. Yeah, but once that white man see that whirlpool of money leave, they follow that trail right to that dude, lock his ass up. Still that whole up in the economy. Huh?
Anything that we consume, that we should be figuring out how to produce that shit. Anything that black people consume. So if it's shoes, then yeah, niggas be out there, make some shoes. So we don't gotta spend $300. We can spend $300 on the black shoes instead of spending $300 on the Nike. You know what I'm saying? Fucking whatever. Utensils. We done spoke of that before. Forks, knives, spoons, plates. You know what I mean? You got the artistic type people out here who like to mold and make shit. You know what I'm saying? But you can get machines for that shit. So it's like, yo, you can be mass producing them. You know what I mean? Distributed them shits to your local store. And who owns the store? A black store. A black Family Dollar. You supplying that. You supplying the black Family Dollar. You might have 3 or 4 factories that put in the majority of stuff that go in there. Toilet tissue, utensils, pans and shit for the fucking, like, that you bake macaroni in and all that, those disposable pans. Yeah. That's just, all that shit is aluminum, like crimped up aluminum. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking aluminum foil. Whatever, all the shit you could think of, laundry detergent, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. It's like, we don't own none of them shit. And now you see smaller black companies, laundry detergent companies. I can't think of them off the top of my head. We don't spoke of the paper towel company. So there's a few of those, you know what I'm saying? So it's some popping up. But we got to have those factories, and that's really what matters, is the factory. Because otherwise, at the end of the day, you're not the main profit maker. And it's like, that's the extra profit. Having a factory is what makes you part of controlling that market, because you producing the shit now. You bringing it in. You controlling the materials. You buying the materials to get that. So now you get into those materials. So if you need whatever for this, the product that you make, you can go into, let's say if it's a plant product you need, you could go into farming that shit. If it's something else that you got to create in another lab, then you could go into having a lab to create that for your product. So, you know, whatever it is, some type of special plastic or whatever. So then you start expanding from that once you, and that's how you start cornering markets, you know what I'm saying? But in order for us to even think about that, we got to get in the game. Got to get in the game, man. It's been too long.
Got to get in that game, man. Yeah. Niggas sit around and shit like that. One barbershop. One hair salon. Like, no thirst on a takeover. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Drug dealers ain't invent the takeover. The takeover for everybody.
Like, even with those, it's like, you say, well, damn, that's a business, bro. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? The thing is that we always open in retail shit. And so now that requires money to spend, which you getting money from our people's getting money from other economies. So it's pretty much based on those other economies in order for your shit to flourish. So if there's a downturn in jobs in your area or something, then that's going to affect your retail store. So instead of cats coming in to get their haircut a lot, you might go buy some clippers and shape their joint out they sell. Instead of coming 4 times a month, they might come twice a month. That cuts down on you. But when you're thinking of, you know, cornering a market, then you're talking about creating jobs. And then now there's a flow of income for the people that can, you know, spend in the economy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like your employees, they're going to be spending and buying products from the other factories and stuff like that. You know what I mean? The employees of Factory B is going to be buying your product. And so now that money is, when they talk, you know, like, you think of in terms how they talk about the Jews, you know, so to speak. The Jews, their money goes around the community 20 times before, you know, someone gets it or whatever the number is. We could be in those conversations. So when you think about it, it's like, me, I'm a working man in a black economy. I get up, I go to work, I work for a black company. So they getting my effort every day. They getting my output. You know what I'm saying? So that's helping a black business thrive. In turn, I'm getting paid. And if there's more businesses and economies now, I know that I'm spending with them. So it's like, I work for a black business. So I know what it is to patronize and support black businesses. I work for one. So now you're going to go over here. I get my soap from this guy. I get my soap, my food from here. I, you know, my vegetables. I get it from this farmer. And so now these are all black people. In turn, that farmer, he taking his money, he goes to the black barber shop. Now the money is there for them to get his cut. I get a cut 5,000 because that's what we do. We all supporting each other. So that money is floating around the community. So instead of the dollar being worth $1, it's worth $20 because it's going to touch 20 people before you got to pay a light bill with it or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's all benefits for everybody, but we got to create the jobs for ourselves. So we're not complaining. So we're not like Monique where, you know, she getting shortchanged for bread. We're going to pay each other what we worth. because now we see the value in it, but we don't see that it's nothing for us to see because we have to work for others. So yeah, man, we can corner those markets and start thinking along those areas of locking down everyday money. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna do a lot for black people and shit.
Word, because see, my whole thing is also is the import-export game. You know what I'm saying? The owning of the trading back and forth with other black nations, you know what I'm saying, exporting products. That's us dealing with, we could have our own FDA. You see what I'm saying? And things of this nature, because we see Jews do that. So we know, because you know what I'm saying, even if you say to yourself, okay, just like the Jews is their own fucking people, we our own fucking people. You know what I'm saying? And y'all got, the Muslims got halal and the Jews got kosher, we got something else. You know what I'm saying? We just create a name and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we build and develop culture. You know what I'm saying? But you can't sit over here and just do some shit like, no, I'm just going to work within this system and I'm just going to, you know what I'm saying? Because shit, if you think like that and you be a black, white person and you be on some fucking, no, I'm American and I'm not African. I can't relate to the African. I can't relate to the West Indians, and those aren't really black, and all kind of stuff like that. No, hear what I'm saying. What happens next is you're going to get blended out, because as you're thinking like that, that means you're going to work against black, and then you're going to be breeding down more than likely. You're going to be isolating yourself from the rest of black society more than likely. And then eventually your kids might even have to merge in with the other black society because your population will keep getting smaller. They keep playing the number games with us until they keep saying not black people in America. They keep saying African American. So if you don't identify with African American, you're not counted, even if you're black. You see what I'm saying? It's like, leave that shit, man. Black America. Go ahead, Smoke.
Now, all I'm going to say is the blueprint already there. So, like, we already know what's going to happen if you decide to just work in a white society or any other society, economy that you want to choose. You're not going to make it. There's only very few of us that actually come up to where we are wealthy or whatever you want to call it. What is it, 1% or 1%? Owns that we own the wealth in America. So the game for the blueprint is already there. If that's what you're gonna do, then you guaranteed your kid is gonna start. You're gonna have to start from -0, from under. You gotta start from behind. Your grandkids are gonna have to do the same, and so forth and so on. It's just guaranteeing that our kids are gonna encounter the same issues we got. They probably gonna be wearing baggy clothes again. Talking that shit. No, man, I can't get a job, man. White man out here got his foot on my neck, you know what I'm saying? And it's because the prior generation didn't establish economy. So the longer that we wait to do anything of that nature, we guarantee that more and more generations of our kids got to deal with the same issues that we're dealing with right now. So it's on us if we're trying to save our future.
But you know the funny thing is, too, Smoke? It may not even be the white man. It might be the Chinese man or the Indian man. You know what I'm saying?
And we'll probably be looking at it different. Like, it's a new.
Yeah, because now the white man buffer might be a Mexican or some shit like that. We so busy wanting to be subservient, man. Yo, we got to break out of that. But for us to break out of that, we got to break out that religion. And Negroes ain't trying to get out that religion. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they try to kill off the man, because the logic. Everything breaks back down to logic. We got to start using our brain and our mind again. We losing it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we're going to get to the point where, you know what I'm saying, like, we're going to be talking about this for another 200-300 years. Straight up. A lot of things that we believe ain't even real. It's narratives that were put into place to justify action. You see what I'm saying? A lot of shit that we believe is just narrative that was put into place to justify action. So none of this is real. It's not realistic. But when you believe the narrative, black people, then you start to hold on to these stereotypes and these prejudices about your damn self. That's what was coming out of a lot of black people's pores when the Black Panther movie came out. You see what I'm saying? They started to get that white hate that's in their system for black people. And maybe I can say a little better. That the hatred that white people have for black people have that same hatred for black people. So when they see black people doing something of black greatness or something of that nature, we start to really, in our mind, I believe, think like, how would a white person feel about this movie? A white person probably would think, you know what I'm saying? And then we start to hate it. And we start to have an issue with it. We start to have a problem with the movie, you know what I'm saying, or the depiction, or the way someone acting, or, you know what I'm saying? Why we gotta be so extra? Why you gotta dress up like that? And it's like, what, huh? What is your problem? You know what I'm saying? Oh, now all black people be doing that handshake. What's the problem? Nobody got mad when motherfucker was doing the V shit for Star Trek. You know what I'm saying? Or Star Wars, or whatever the fuck the shit is. Star Wars, I think it is. You know what I'm saying? That Voltron shit. I think it's Trek, now that I'm thinking about it. But it's like nobody's got mad about that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's that shit. You know what I'm talking about, that V shit? Like when they have the two fingers in the left hand. Huh?
Yeah, I want to say that's Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah, Trek. Star Trek, right? Yeah, I want to say that's that Trek shit. Yeah, nobody got mad about that. And that's my whole shit. It's like, because we don't have an economy, we don't see value in ourselves. And because we don't see value in ourselves, that's why it's easy for us to be taken advantage of. You see what I'm saying? And then we end up hating this about ourselves. But we don't know how to break it out, you know, break out of us. The West Indians come over, you know what I'm saying, and just like the article said, we coming over with no ill will or notion towards black people. You know what I'm saying? But then we looking at the news and picking up on all this fucking the articles about black people, and we like, oh shit, stay away from their asses. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
stay
saying?
Away from the media, man. Don't read. Just come fuck with us. Don't read that bullshit.
That's how it is.
Don't fuck with us.
Because you know what it is, too? Because now, imagine this now, Smoke. Imagine now, you and your woman and your seed, right? Y'all go to, like, let's say y'all go, okay, watch this. So let's say y'all go to Wakanda, right? And y'all move over there now, and you seeing how the men is and how the woman is over there and how they carrying themselves and shit like that. You see the economy and how strong it is, right? You will be more inclined to tell your son, yo, move like them, right? Act like them. You know what I'm saying? Now, compared to, you know what I'm saying? Because it's reputable. You see what I'm saying? If Black America had an economy, a Jamaican, a Trini, an African, a black brother or sister from Europe, and you know what I'm saying, the Afro-Latino communities and the Australian brothers and, you know what I'm saying, black Russians and all kind of shit, black Europeans, yeah, but they like, when they come to America and they seeing these black Americans, and they're on their grind hustling. They got a strong economy. They're trading back and forth. They're creating business. You think they're gonna grow their children up and they're gonna say, stay away from the black Americans? Don't be like them. No. They're gonna want to amalgamate into your. You dig what I'm saying? That's what's gonna happen.
That's real shit.
But right now, your name tastes like ass. So people don't want to be associated with you. So then what we say, Smoke? See, them Africans come over here acting all funny. Yeah, they're acting funny because guess what? You don't got shit. So when they coming over here now, it's a rat race. So I'm getting my shit up. Well, I'm associated with somebody who ain't got shit.
They go both ways because we don't really got shit, so we just looking at them like. And then you might see like, you know, an African come over and they might be exceeding what you did, and you been, you know what I'm saying, as a black American, and you like, look at, they be giving them Africans, look at them, and everything. You know what I'm saying? This is like an hate between each other. So if we just get our shit together, we have shit to do. We won't be fucking hating on each other, y'all. We'll be working, building shit up and shit. Loving the Africans, and Africans love the fucking blacks, Americans and shit. Everybody be good money for shit. So it's like, it's a bunch of unnecessary hate, and I see that with, you know what I mean, the dynamic between us, between the two and shit. And it's like, that right there don't definitely not need to be, because if we spit in that, we was taken from Africa and those are our ancestors and the motherland and all that shit, that should be the number one fucking link up that's going on in the fucking America. This is all the Africans that come over here. You should be linking with them just based off of that. Just based off of that narrative. Shit, we ain't gotta marry each other, but let's break bread. Let's make businesses together. Let's do whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, shit, we should be working together off time. That shit is retarded.
That's what I don't get. But I also understand the what happened?
No, I said at all. You don't get it. I don't get that shit at all. I mean, you understand what's causing it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that's something we gotta work through that shit. Like that's just ridiculous.
Word up. Because even if you have, like I tell anybody, I mean, shit. When the enslaved Africans came over, enslaved, I mean, shit, they was in the same position as the West Indians and the Africans and everybody else now, the Haitians and all, etc. You know what I mean? And then their children, after years, became part of society. And that's what will happen regardless. The only difference is, instead of blending and melting into black America, y'all trying to blend into white America. That's why when you hear everybody talking about the melting pot, it ain't for black people. It was never for black people. The melting pot was for them Europeans that came over from Europe. That was the melting pot. It ain't had nothing to do with black people. We invented our own funky asses into the pot.
I want to be part of it.
Yeah, if we had our own economy, then we would be able to have our own melting pot of black Americans, Africans, West Indians, you know what I'm saying? We all mix in all the cultures into one. We share the same story. We got the same history, so all we'll be doing is expanding our black leaders who we honor, expanding the demographic of our struggles and the things that we went through, naming a longer list of our enemies, a longer timeline and year. You know what I'm saying? Honoring not deceased and assassinated. You know what I'm saying? Longer list because we encompass in all. You see what I'm saying? In Congress and shit like that, just like how the Jewish politicians do for Israel, these black politicians need to be out here fighting for the black countries out there. You know what I'm saying? And making sure that they're not getting dicked and shit like that. Making sure they're getting the proper aid and things of this nature. Opening up trade deals where these black countries could come in and trade with black America. But they got to think economy. But since nobody want to talk about it, then it's time for us to do. You know what I'm saying, Smoke?
Yeah.
It's time to do it.
Gotta do something, man. Like, the talk don't end, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got decades of talking, you know what I'm saying? And it's cool, it's shit to draw from, you know what I'm saying? Inspiration to go to, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, it's like what we doing or what we, you know, trying to get ourselves into is like, we kind of hoping Black America reflects like that. So let's try to do less talking, you know what I'm saying? All of our talking should be informative, you know what I'm saying? And more building, more actually getting around and starting for yourself. So it's like, I know we was talking about, you know, getting a factory and shit like that. But of course, once you got factory money now, you can't get a factory. But you can start for yourself. So if you say, no, hey, I work in the white economy, let me do something to at least cut that in half. Maybe I can just go to part-time, or I keep my corporate jobs because of insurance or something. But you making your money other routes. You building other shit. You got something you selling to black communities that you producing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And then you build yourself up and shit. So, you know, it's like concentrate on building yourself. And once you can build yourself, you can build your family, and then from family is community. You know what I'm saying? The community is just a bunch of families. So less talking and more building. That needs to be the motto for Black America from here on out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because there's nothing new to talk about. There's nothing new to talk about. All you're doing is reacting. All you're doing is telling me the same shit I know. I got a pimple on my nose. I know. You got a pimple on your nose. I know. You got a pimple on your nose. I know. How many times you going to tell me the same shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, now we got to talk about what we're going to do about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. And that's how I look at that shit. You know what I'm saying? So now I say, especially during this time of tax season, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to do right by your bread, man. I say, put it in a CD. Put a portion in the CD. Put a portion in some stock. Really depending on how much you got, you know what I'm saying, obviously.
Well,
because if you run the
first thing somebody would, a good piece of advice for somebody getting a tax return, and you know, some decent money is not all allocated somewhere already, is to think about all the bullshit you hold out and X that shit off your list. You gonna get that? No, you don't need to get that shit off of it. You know what I'm saying? X all that shit off. And then that money that you was going to waste, do take the advice that Rasta be giving you. Put it in the CD somewhere. Or you can say, you know, put it somewhere where it's like you got that. So a lot of times I know we get tax money or any little chunk of money. You hit a little lottery ticket or some shit like that. First shit you trying to do is buy some bullshit. You know, to contribute to somebody else's economy. Let's talk correct. You're going to go buy something that's contributing to somebody else's economy. It ain't helping you at all. It ain't helping the black community at all. So all of those things, those, you know, the sneakers, boats, all of that extra shit. If you need a pair, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But you got a closet full of shit. That's something you can X off. Don't buy it. Then use that money and just save it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think of, how you spending your money as you contributing to someone else's economy, and then you double back and think about you not having an economy yourself, you're gonna be less likely to spend that money. You're like, I need to hold on to this. I need to keep this to myself because again, we don't have backup. We run out of money or whatever. We gotta go to the other economy to try to get some paper or do something else. So just think of it that way and shit, and stack a little bit of that bread instead of doing that stupid shit.
And that's my whole shit. Stop all that stupid shit, man. Because as long as you are consumer based, you're basically a worthless eater. You know what I'm saying? Because all you are is you're just there just to work. You feed them, they'll work for you, make you money. You feed them, you clothe them, you house them. That's it. All day, everybody else is just trying to figure out how to take more and more money away from you. Literally, that's it. They're just trying to figure out how to take more and more and more money away from you. But you have to, and it always works because we don't know what money is. Money is the oil that keeps the wheels moving.
I thought it was the root of all evil.
Huh?
I thought it was the root of all evil.
The who?
The root of all evil, money.
You're stupid. Money is the oil that keeps the wheels moving. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you understand that, then it's like you understand what to do with your bread. You're not gonna be so quick to want to blow your paper. You know what I'm saying? When you understand, that's like saying, yo, I got a car. I got gas for the car in a plastic container, and I'm just pouring it down the street. Gas high as a motherfucker, and I'm just fucking pouring that shit down the street. Like for what? You know what I'm saying? Like it makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're wasting your gas. You need that gas to drive. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. These are things that we don't get. You know what I'm saying? That's what the bread is. The bread isn't for you to spend. The bread is for you to invest it, to make it flip. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what it's for. It's not for us to slap it on some big booty woman ass. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not. So it's like we gotta stop that. You know what I'm saying? We gotta really go back, and like I said, black man, we gotta go back to using our logic, our smarts. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're getting outsmarted by white people. Come on, man.
That's a part of being a man. Your noggin. Thinking it out. Not being emotional. That's fucking principles of a man and shit. You gotta get back to basics. Word, man. Because we losing in a battle where the opposition is drug influence. So we want to be drug influenced too, so we can even out the score. The opposition ain't got negative birth rate. Babies is dying. They not producing. So we want to kill our babies. Come on, yo. We gotta think smart.
Yeah, definitely. and then move. But like I said, I don't blame the working class because we don't know. We're being fed the same narrative over and over again. You're a victim. This is why is this happening to me? Why there's no jobs over here? Why we don't got no bread? Why these white people communities are better than our communities? Why? You know what I'm saying? And nobody, and they keep giving us bullshit. They keep giving us bullshit. So I don't blame the people because I understand that if you don't know, you don't know. How am I supposed to know? You know what I'm saying? How am I supposed to know? I blame the people that know. That's tricking the people. Why nobody talking about the economy? Because if you really want black people to understand their condition, break down and explain to them that this is happening to you because we don't have an economy. You see, this is how the economy works. And if we had this, it would eliminate these things. Simple. But it's like we'd rather sit here and keep playing like there's a real agenda that we're fighting. And it's not. You're being duped into an emotional-ass war about ideology. Knowing good and damn well it's not going to help us do shit. So that's how I look at that shit. That's how I look at that shit. You got anything you want to build on, Smoke, real quick?
Monique shit, man. What you think about that, y'all? What you think about Breakfast Club interview, some of the other interviews, and just how how black people are supporting her overall? Like, what you think about that?
Good question. Damn. Man, good question. I think Monique is telling a story to people with no imagination. And what I mean by that is, it's like describing something nice to somebody who never had shit. You see what I'm saying? Like you won't get it. And I'm thinking that she's really talking above a lot of people's head because with the Breakfast Club, you got to remember, and Charlemagne the Fraud, he did that. Leonard. Remember that he did that with Dame Dash. Remember? He did that with Dame Dash. He was on the wrong side with Dame Dash. When Dame Dash came on the show. He did the same shit with Kevin Hart. Remember when Kevin Hart had the whole issue with him not promoting the show on his Twitter or some shit? Right. Or his Instagram or something like that? And he like, nah, I gotta pay me for that. These are my fans. I built these fans. Like, I'm not about to use me to advertise. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Charlemagne, like, I thought Kevin Hart, he was tripping. I thought he done got too big. Like, I didn't see what the problem was of doing it. Right, because you don't get it because you're a worker. You see what I'm saying? You're a worker, so you're going to think like a worker. Do what I'm told. But when somebody knows their worth and you're black, it's basically who that nigga on that now. So when Monique is standing there and she's like, wait a minute, y'all not treating me right, y'all not doing it right, nah, this ain't how it's supposed to. Everybody looking at her like, who do she think she is to talk like that, to speak like that? You know what I'm saying? That's some corny shit. You know what I'm saying? That's some corny shit. But shit, as we come to close down to the last couple of minutes, though, 5 minutes left. Let me go ahead and break down this Black History moment in Black History time. This is a brother named Sylvanus Smith, Sylvanus. Sylvanus Smith. Born 1831, passed 1911. Sylvanus Smith, once described as a city directory as a hog driver, was a free black Brooklynite who promoted and protected racial equality, business ownership, and property development in the community of Weeksville, New York. Smith was one of the original landowners of Weeksville. In order to obtain the rights to vote, which was denied to most African Americans in New York and across the nation at that time, Smith led a group of free blacks in purchasing land in then rural area of Kings County, New York. In 1838, 11 years after New York finally abolished slavery, Smith and other African Americans, including Peter and Benjamin Kruger, William Wilson, James Pennington, James and Elizabeth Gloucester, and William and Willis Hodges, lived in a community in Williamsburg, Fort Greene, and Cobble Hill. They gave up their urban existence to create a small middle-class farming community, which they called Weeksville, after James Weeks, an African-American settler from Virginia who was the earliest land-owning resident in the area. Farming was only part of the motivation for the Weeksville settlement. By purchasing land, the family ensured that they met the $250 property requirement for voting established by the 1821 New York State Legislature solely for black males in the state. Weeksville is now part of Bedford-Stuyvesant, and the Weeksville farm of Sylvanus and Ann Springstead Smith was at the corner of what is now Fulton Street and Buffalo Ave. Smith was also committed to African American educational achievement as a means to improve the community's social status. He sat on the board of trustees for the African American Free School of Brooklyn, also known as Colored School Number 1. The school was founded on November 2nd, 1787, and subsequently opened in 1795. Its mission was to provide education to children of slaves and free people of color. Its leaders also advocated the full abolition of African slavery. Sylvanus Smith and his wife, April Springsteen Smith, had 7 children. Two of their daughters, Susan Smith, McKinney Stewart, and Sarah Smith Thompson Garnett, later became prominent citizens in their own right. The Smiths instilled the value of education and social activism in both their daughters. Smith's social status allowed his children access to the quality education. Susan and Sarah were both educated in the classics and music. Susan Smith entered the New York Medical College for Women in 1867 and earned her MD in 1870, graduating as valedictorian. As such, she joined a handful of black women physicians who emerged in the Reconstruction period. Sarah was educated and suffragist in New York City. She was a promoter of educational opportunity and equality, and in 1863 became the first African-American female school principal in the United States. In the New York City public school system. Sylvia Smith died in September 17, 1911 in Brooklyn, New York at the age of 80. So, you know what I'm saying, that's a Brooklyn hero right there. And the good thing about the story is this is the 1800s. You know what I'm saying? This is the mid 1800s. You know what I'm saying? The late 1800s. You know what I'm saying? Like, black people doing it. So what's the excuse now when you got more money, more education? What's the excuse?
What stood out for me was that they said in the article, in the story that in 1821 in New York that it was a $250 property requirement in order to vote. So that brother went and established that shit by getting the property and with to have a kind of like a dual purpose. It was a farming area, so he was able to establish his voting rights and have a farming area that he created. You know what I'm saying? So he established himself to be able to affect anything. So you don't gotta have a farm, but he had property, and so those is one of the things that establish you. You know what I mean, in this country and shit. So it's really worldwide. So those are the things that we need to focusing on and shit.
And you see how they came together. It wasn't the whole community came together. It wasn't we got to get everybody on the same page. No. It was like 5, 6 people or something like that nature. You see what I'm saying? Right. I named the names off. You know what I'm saying? But let me see, can I find the names and stuff like that? But it was just a number of people that came together. You know what I'm saying? And they did that shit. Yeah. There was like they said a black purchased land. It said in order to obtain rights to vote, which were denied to most African Americans in New York and across the nation, Smith led a group of free blacks in purchasing land in the then rural area of Kings County. In 1838, 11 years after New York finally abolished slavery, Smith and other African Americans, including Peter, Benjamin, William, James, Elizabeth, William, Willis. So that's about 8. 9 including Sylvana Smith. You know what I'm saying? So it's like 9 black people in the late 1800s came together, got his brother, purchased a
couple of his homeboys, and they homeboys.
You know what I'm
phone call. Right there, right in your reach. Not a lot.
I don't want to hear the bullshit. I don't want to hear the bullshit no more. I don't want to hear the excuses no more. I don't want to hear the white supremacy no more. I don't want to hear none of this shit. I don't want to hear about getting everybody on board. I don't want to hear none of that no more. Because I just showed you an example of a brother, 9 coming together in the late 1800s. Not 1900s, 1800s. And they done brought land, developed it, and made it into a black town. Meaning these 9 people came together and created what? An economy. Because that's how a town runs. And that's how we gonna run. So this is In Black America Radio. We are signing out because me and Smoke, we are working on projects that we too can build and create our own economy. Eat up other people's economy while helping the black economy. So you have anything you want to end it off with, Smoke?
Yo, thank you for listening. It's been what, 2 years plus, over 100 shows plus, you know what I'm saying? So, I thank everybody for listening, all the repeat callers, you know what I'm saying? Everybody who gave input, who wrote something on a Facebook post or any other thing that we did, any acknowledgement, you know what I'm saying? I'd like to thank everybody. And it's just been successful, you know what I'm saying? So, shout out to you too for putting it in, bringing the stories, setting the shows up and all that. So yeah, you know what I mean? Everything was successful and, hopefully when we come back, you know what I'm saying, we'll have something that we can actually talk about that we doing, you know what I mean, to show some type of growth.
And that's what it's all about, growth. So we're now the seed being planted in the dirt, being watered and nurtured. Now watch us grow. Peace and black power.